And welcome to the Book Corner with Denise Harris on KBLP. And tonight we're going to be discussing fantasy. And one of the biggest fantasy series is The Wheel of Time. We're going to do an overview, discuss the characters, and kind of go over what the books are about. Okay, the Wheel of Time series, they're epic, and they were written by James Oliver Rigney Jr., also known as Robert Jordan. That was his pen name. It was planned as a 6-book series, but turned into many more. It includes a standalone prequel novel, and he began writing the first book that came out was The Eye of the World. And the 11th volume was published in 2005. The series is noted for its length, the extremely large number of plots, the detail of the world, the large number of characters in the books. There are more than 1,800 named characters in the series. It proved a tremendous success from the start. The 8th through 11th volumes each debuted number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. As of August 2008, the series has sold 80 million copies worldwide. It spawned a soundtrack, a role-playing game, and it's a video game. So, pretty cool. Now I'm going to give you a little overview of the idea of the books, what it's about. It starts out, there's a deity known as the Creator, who forged the universe and the Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time spins the patterns using the lives of men and women as threads. The wheel has 7 spokes. Each spoke is representative of an age or a phase in the world, and is rotated by the one power, and that flows through female or male. It's divided into male and female halves, which works in opposition and in unison to drive the wheel towards its goals. And those humans who can use the one power are known as channelers. And the principal organization in the book of the wielders of the one power are called Aes Sedai, or servants of all. Now, the Creator has, of course, this is about good and evil, and the evil one is known as Shaitan, or the Dark One. And the Creator seals him away from the wheel, so he has no influence on it whatsoever, no evil intent. However, in a time called the Age of Legends, an Aes Sedai experiment breached the Dark One's prison, allowing him back, his influence to seep back into the real world. And these servants began an effort to free the Dark One from his prison, so he can remake time in his own image. And for the light in the Age of Legends, the dragon reborn was a man named Lews Therin Telamon, who rose to command the Aes Sedai and their allies in the struggle against the Dark One. After a grueling 10-year war, Lews Therin led his forces in victory and was able to seal off the Dark One's prison once again. However, the Dark One was able to taint him of wielding the one power, which, if the male channelers channeled the one power, they would go insane. Lews Therin killed his friends and family, and then he killed himself. The other male channelers devastated the world with the one power, known as the breaking of the world. It unleashed earthquakes, tidal waves, tsunamis. Eventually, the last male channeler was killed or cut off from the one power. leaving the human race all but destroyed. And the Aes Sedai reconstituted and guided humanity out of its dark time. But there was a prophecy that the Dark One would break free from his prison and the dragon would be reborn to fight him once more. And he is humanity's only hope to succeed. But he would devastate the world a second time. Over the next 3,500 years, the human race returns to a level comparable to that to the Middle Ages. This is put down to the power and influence of the female-only Aes Sedai spilling over into everyday life. Several major wars have ravaged the continent since the defeat of the Dark One, such as the Trolloc Wars, when servants of the Dark One tried to destroy civilization once more. But were defeated by an alliance of nations led by the Aes Sedai, and the War of the 100 Years, a devastating civil war that followed the fall of a continent, spawning empire ruled by the High King Arthur Hawkwing. These wars have prevented the human race from regaining the power and the technology, but also left humanity divided. And comes the emergence of an organization of the Children of the Light, a military order who hold that all who dabble with the one power are servants of the shadow. Doesn't matter who it is or whatever, they're a military group and they will destroy anyone who wields one power. There is a prequel to the books. It's called The New Spring, and it that came out later. So that's a prequel, and it's not in order in the books. The series commences almost 20 years later, and the main area is Two Rivers. It's a district of the Kingdom of Andor. It's a backwater area, and it's almost forgotten. An Aes Sedai, Moraine, and her warder Lan arrive in the village of Emond's Field with news that servants of the Dark One are searching for a young man. But she's unable to determine which of three men are the Dragon Reborn. There's Rand al'Thor, Maitrim Cauthon, and Perrin A. Barra. And so it takes all three of them out of the Two Rivers on a journey that they will never forget. And they gather up along their way some girls that they figure out can channel, but they don't know this yet. The first novel depicts their flight from various agents of the Shadow and their escape to the Aes Sedai city of Tar Valon. For there on, the story expands and the characters are split. They come across many challenges, pursuing different missions or agendas aimed at furthering the cause of the Dragon Reborn, sometimes thousands of miles apart. The group of characters from the Two Rivers make new allies, gain experience, and become figures of some influence and authority. As they struggle to unite the Western kingdoms, against the Dark One, it's complicated by rulers of the nations who refuse to give up their authority, such as the Children of the Light. These guys are bad news. They don't believe in prophecies. And there's another group, they're called the Shanchan. They're people of a long-lost colony. And they're like water people. They have these huge boats, and it's mostly women who are in charge, which is interesting. So, and the Aes Sedai become divided to those who believe in the Dragon Reborn, and those believe he must lead them into battle. New characters are representing different factions are introduced. The sheer scale of the growing struggle is depicted. By the 11th novel, it has become clear that the last battle caused when the Dark One is able to exert its influence directly on the world is imminent. It's going to happen. The last battle is depicted in the 14th and final novel in the series, A Memory of Light. And here's music by Blind Guardian, written for the Wheel of Time series. When is Wheel of Time?